No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of.
Trump destroying woke culture for 10 minutes straight. We all know Donald Trump is that one politician that cannot be ignored. His confident demeanor and blunt statements have made him one of the most controversial individuals in the modern era. While his statements upset many, others support him as a champion. In this video, you will look at some of Trump's most daring takedowns of woke culture, beginning with a woke feminist's attempt to cancel Trump at a conference. Trump was being asked if women will get paid equal to men and whether they will get to do whatever they want with their body, and Trump responded with his always confident behavior. Take a look at this.
If you become president, will a woman make the same as a man, and do I get to choose what I do with my body?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job. You're going to make the same if you do as good a job, and I happen to be pro-life. Okay, I'm pro-life.
She believes she had a good argument by bringing up the wage gap argument. In a few words, Trump dismissed the premise of a systematic wage difference, reducing it to an individual's performance. And I guess no one would have a problem with it either. If a woman is doing as good of a job as a man, she should be paid equally and fairly. Trump's answer was a textbook in reversing accusations. The activist then tried to press Trump by indirectly calling him a misogynist and not a friend to women. However, Trump was having none of it. He didn't simply defend himself, he went all in, citing his record of helping women in male-dominated industries.
So maybe I'm wrong, maybe you can prove me wrong, but I don't think that you're a friend to women.
I knew I shouldn't have picked her. I knew I shouldn't have picked her. All right, so let me give you that answer right now. I respect women incredibly. I have had women working for me in positions that they've never worked in terms of construction, in terms of so many different jobs. I had a woman who was in charge of the building of Trump Tower many years ago, before anybody would have even thought of it, and did a fantastic job. I have given women more opportunity than I would say virtually anybody in the construction industry. I have a daughter named Ivanka and a wife named Melania who constantly want me to talk about women's health issues because they know how I feel about it, and they know how I feel about women. I respect women. I love women.
But Trump wasn't finished. In a video uploaded by Trump himself, he bravely delves into cultural topics with his characteristic straightforwardness. Trump affirms what many believe but few dare to say. There are only two genders.
I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned.
However, this wasn't the end. Trump went as far as calling it as child abuse and promised to revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care.
He is right. Giving a child puberty blockers without his consent and then performing surgery on them has to be one of the worst things you could ever do to a child. However, he wasn't done here either. He also said that he will make sure that any teacher that suggests to a child that they are trapped in the wrong body will face severe punishment.
My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences.
Telling children that they're not the gender they were born as before they learn their ABCs? Yeah, that's a no-no. Children should go to school to get a healthy environment and learn something, not go and listen to their teacher talking about how a girl is in a boy's body and vice versa. But Trump was only warming up. His struggle against woke culture wasn't over. Next, we'll get into another hot controversy. Trump is set to weigh in on trans athletes in women's sports, and the audience's reaction demonstrates what Americans truly want.
And by the way, we should not allow men to play in women's sports.
The cheering of the crowd should be proof enough that the Americans are also tired of this woke culture destroying everything in the country. He further doubled down, saying that many consultants and advisors had told him not to say anything like that, as it is very controversial.
See, it just shows you what these political geniuses, I have all these consultants, all these great... Sir, don't say that, it's very controversial. That's not written down anywhere. I just said, this might be a good time. So they said, don't do it. And that gets the biggest hand of everything. Oh, it's crazy.
This is what makes Trump a powerful person, as he stops at nothing to convey his opinion and does it with his signature bluntness. But this is where things get wild. Trump has a story regarding this issue which will shock you. He tells a story of a female swimmer who wanted to beat the world record by 1/8 of a second and had trained all her life to do it. However, what she saw while being in the arena had completely left her bamboozled.
It's crazy. I tell the story of the great swimmer, great female swimmer, wonderful woman, beautiful woman. She's been swimming for many years. She wants to break the world record. And she's in the pool and she wants to break it by 1/8 of a second. That's like fast. And she's going to do it. She's getting ready, and she looks down. She sees all people she's been competing with for years because they rise to the top. And she looks over here and she sees people. But then she looks and she, they call this. They say this. She sees somebody with a man's body. That's what they do. They call it. I said, you think it's okay to say that? That's actually the expression they're using. They'll change that soon, so I have to do it quickly. I have to say it because they're going to change it. And you know the guy, he was named Female Athlete of the Year. Did you know that? It's true. He was just named female. We're not dealing with things that are so easy here, Newt. This is a difficult, crazy world. You'd almost say, is the world going crazy? Because 99% of the things I'm saying are common sense. But she looks over and sees her friends down there, and then she looks and this guy is massive. He's got a wingspan, he's got arms that are 30 feet long. And I always say, and she was seriously injured during the meet because he swam so fast that he gave her major wind burn as he went by. And she didn't break the record, but he broke the record that day. You know what the number was? 38 seconds. So she wanted to break it by 1/8 of a second, and he broke it by 38 seconds.
38 seconds? The girl who had dedicated all her life to beat that record would have been heartbroken to see it being obliterated like that by the guy. I mean, it's just unfair now. The girl might be thinking that the guy was on a jet ski or something going that fast. However, Trump also shares a story where a man named Alice participated in a female bodybuilding contest and lifted the weight like a feather. This clip is hilarious, and the crowd was erupting in laughter watching Trump's funny expressions.
8 seconds. Or the weightlifter, I think it was like 218 pounds. I know, that's a lot. I can't lift it. I don't know who can. Any of our ex-Trump people, they're all Trump people. Kevin's saying he can lift it. I don't know about that, Kevin, but that's a lot. 218 pounds, and she got over that weight, and she was going to break it. They put a ½ an ounce here, half a little tiny ring on top of these big barbells, dumbbells. And they go, and she went like this. She got it break it. Stood for 11 years. And her mother and father are screaming, you got it! You got it, darling. I'm so proud of my girl. Well, she couldn't do it. And then this guy comes along. He's named Alice. And he looks at the weight. World record, world record. We could have put another couple of 100 pounds on. I think he would have lifted it.
Imagine going to the gym every day, training multiple times a day to beat the world record, but a guy comes in and breaks that record like it was a piece of cake. That would be quite disappointing. And even giving the guy the Best Female Athlete award, that would be the last straw before I quit the sport. But Trump wasn't finished stunning the audience. You know, a Trump rally isn't complete without his trademark sense of humor. He called himself the greatest women's basketball coach in history, and the clip was just hilarious.
And I'll tell you what, if I were ever, I'd be the greatest women's basketball coach in history. Because I don't like LeBron James. I like Michael Jordan much better. But I'd go up to LeBron James. It doesn't matter. I'd say, LeBron, did you ever have any desire to be a woman? Because what I'd love you to do is star on my team that I'm building up. I will have the greatest team in history. They'll never lose. Nobody will come within 70 points of this team.
He also said that the girls that had experienced these things are not allowed to talk about it because they were afraid that they will get canceled.
And we have to make it okay to talk about it. You know, the young lady I was talking about is afraid to talk about it. She's shunned and she's canceled when she talks about it. This is crazy. Right, Kellyanne? I see my Kellyanne.
Trump had also talked about this issue in a video by himself, where he says he will ask the government of the United States to pass a bill which prohibits men from entering women's sports.
At birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating.
Trump's final words hit home. We're hesitant to talk about awakened culture because it could lead to our cancellation. Not only are politicians under fire, but the majority of us are holding back due to the implications. As woke culture spreads, so does the fear of retaliation. Piers Morgan, the British journalist, had also tried to press Trump on this women issue by asking him, "What is a woman?" However, Trump didn't take the bait and refused to answer the question and responded by saying, "A woman is somebody that swims at a certain time and doesn't get beaten by somebody that wasn't even a good swimmer as a male."
What is a woman? His response was this.
One of the big questions being put to lots of politicians right now is, what is a woman?
I'm not going to respond to the question, but a woman is somebody that swims at a certain time and doesn't get beaten by 38 seconds by somebody that wasn't even a good swimmer.
However, here is where things got wild. Trump said this about woke culture, and the whole Trump rally erupted, showing how much they supported Trump and his cause.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true. It's true. Look at what's happening.
However, Trump had no plan of stopping. In a conference, Trump said that he wants a system where hardworking families are put before the woke multinational corporations that are mentally ill.
Our movement must continue to pursue a populist, nationalist, economic agenda that puts working families before globalist politicians and woke multinational corporations who are mentally ill in many cases. They're sick.
At this point, it would have become a hobby of Trump to come out, give a lecture about common sense to grown people and make them upset, and go back. One thing we know is that Trump will stop at nothing to stand on his beliefs that woke culture is destroying the youth of America. And as he continues to confront the people who push this agenda, he will have the support of many fellow Americans.